You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast. And this is show number 526 for Sunday, the 10th of November, 2024.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jane.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we doing this week?
We are doing well. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. I'm very busy because my son Ethan's just about to move into his very first house. So, yeah, my calendar's looking a little bit chaotic, shall we say, for the next couple of weeks. But I have a lovely little story. Can I share a story?
Go on.
It's a Disney story.
Oh, even better.
We have a little cafe. In fact, you've been to the little cafe with us, Michelle. About a 2-mile walk from my house. And we were sat having a coffee this morning. And I looked over at the table next to us, and a lady was wearing a little hoodie. And I thought, sure, that says DCL on the front of it. It was a grey coloured hoodie, and it was quite a subdued pattern. And I kept looking over because I was convinced it was a Disney Cruise Line hoodie. And sure enough, she moved enough. I thought, oh, it is. And she must have seen me glancing at her, and she smiled. And I went, is that Disney Cruise Line? She went, oh, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Can I just say, we had about 15 minutes of frivolity, laughter. We were showing her photos from our most recent cruise. We talked about Pirate Night. We talked about rotational dining. We talked about the service. She'd got a couple of friends with her, and she said, well, you know how we always go, it's so hard to explain what it is about Disney. It's just that quintessential. You can't put it into like just a couple of 3 words or a couple of 3 sentences what it is that Disney does. And she was saying exactly the same thing. And we had this lovely moment, and I thought, we talk about it on the podcast, don't we, about it's the people that we come across that kind of makes this love of Disney so special, and the friendships that we make out of it and one thing another. And I just thought it was just so lovely this morning that there was 6 of us, never met before. We were just sat there over our coffees, just smiling and laughing and exchanging stories. And I just thought, oh, this is what it's all about, isn't it? And everything felt lovely with the world. And I just wanted to share that.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Sorry, a bit soppy today.
Oh, bless you. Well, I'm a bit stressed today because this week daughter has been in and had surgery, so I've been trying to be attentive mama bear, and it's very difficult when you're trying to juggle, having a job and working and not being 100% yourself and trying to be supportive and trying not to have the grandson for the weekend because I just don't feel up to it. I just don't think I can manage a weekend of being Grand Michelle. So I am sort of being a bit selfish and a bit me orientated because I'm having a weekend with my son this weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're not being selfish, you're sharing your time with another member of your family. Just like we shared time last week, Michelle, didn't we? We were actually in the same breathing space and everything.
But did it happen? Because there's no photographic proof.
I know, I can't believe that. Normally we're so good, aren't we, at taking photos, and we didn't. We were too busy chatting, that was the problem.
And shopping.
Chatting and shopping, yeah. Two good things.
Anyway, we have a podcast for you, ladies and gentlemen. And firstly, thank you ever so much for devoting your time to downloading us and listening, because without the show, it's just basically me and Jane talking Disney and no audience. So thank you. We do appreciate it. And we super appreciate our wonderful Patreon supporters for helping us keeping the good old finances of the show up and running and tagging along. We have no history today, but I have got 3 pieces of news. And I'm going to start with, which one? The one that I'm sort of a bit lukewarm over.
Oh, okay.
And then it increases intensity of happiness.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
So the first one, Disneyland. There's going to be 3 daily opportunities for you to request to join the virtual queue for Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Ah, of course, yeah.
7 a.m, guests who have a park reservation for Disneyland Park with a 1-park ticket or a park reservation for Disneyland Park with a park hopper ticket, they can book.
Right.
At 12 noon, guests inside Disney California Adventure with a park hopper or those inside Disneyland can request to join the virtual queue. So basically, if you're in either theme park, at 12 o'clock, you can request a virtual queue, providing if you're in DCA, you've got a hopper.
Hopper. Makes sense, yeah.
Then 4 o'clock, guests inside either park can request to join the virtual queue, providing if you're in DCA, again, you have got a hopper.
Hopper, right.
So if you've got access to get into Disneyland, you can basically book yourself one.
Right.
So that's good news. I thought that was quite exciting.
Yeah, let's hope they have better luck with the consistency of operation, shall we say, than Disney World have had.
Well, I'm kind of thinking they're not going to release a lot of availability at 7 o'clock because they want to guarantee those people will actually get on the ride. Then they're doing a little bit more at 12. And then if they've got any left, it's 4 o'clock. So I think they're being really savvy because if a ride is down till 11 o'clock, they might not have many available at the 12 o'clock drop.
Yeah, well, let's hope that's the case. Let's hope they're being a bit sensible and just spreading that load out a little bit to allow for any glitches.
Yeah. Have you any plans for New Year's Eve, Jane?
No. Why, have you got something I could be doing, Michelle?
I have indeed. Now, I will be reenacting, hopefully not, fingers crossed, touch wood, the Poseidon Adventure, because I'm going to be on my Mexican Riviera cruise, which means I will be on board the ship on New Year's Eve. It's a little joke, and I have seen a T-shirt online that is a Poseidon Adventure T-shirt, and I was joking with a friend last night saying, should I buy this to wear on New Year's Eve? And it was just like, So we've decided we're going to buy it for one of our friends instead and make them wear it. Yeah. I know. Anyway, so New Year's Eve.
Yes.
You have got the opportunity to go to a New Year's adventure.
Ooh.
It's going to be based at the California Grill at the Contemporary Resort over in Walt Disney World. Last year they offered a similar event. It was all themed to Alice in Wonderland. Well, this year it's going to be themed to Tiana.
Could have predicted that.
Yeah. Check-in begins at 7 p.m. It officially starts at 7:30 and continues through till 12:30 a.m. Attendees will step into the whimsical world of New Orleans. Character appearances will include Princess Tiana, Prince Naveen, and more. However, Mama Odie and a few of her friends will be gate-crashing the party. So there'll be a few spells from Mama Odie, and they may entice some critters out of the corner, and Tiana might be helping guests to help solve a mystery.
Interesting.
There's going to be food stations. Now, this makes me feel that it's a buffet rather than a sit-down meal.
That's, yeah, food stations does imply that, yes.
So you've got a chilled appetizer section, which is going to be beef tartare. There's a chilled raw bar. There's a caviar station and a chopped salad. Then there's the wood-burning appetizers, because obviously California Grill is well known for their wood-burned pizzas. So there's going to be a chicken drumstick, a squash blossom donut. There's going to be Creole and muffaletta pizzas, a rock shrimp po' boy, and corn-fed oysters.
Okay.
There's going to be a sushi station, a hot seafood station, which of course is going to involve a seafood broil, amongst others. There's a grill and rotisserie section, and then there is a dessert section, which includes New Orleans-inspired beignets and chicory coffee, house-made truffles and bonbons, chocolate-covered strawberries, and king cake. There will be an open bar with specialty cocktails, and an ice sculpture will be on display, because obviously we all want to pay for that all-important ice sculpture.
Wow, yeah, it wouldn't be a party without, would it? I always have one at parties at my house.
Absolutely. Symes is busy there, no doubt, cracking one open for the weekend.
Oh, yeah, we have them all the time.
This evening will also conclude with a viewing of the New Year's Eve fireworks at the Magic Kingdom from the California Grill's rooftop view. Have I enticed you enough yet, Jane?
Well, I'll let you in on a secret, Michelle. I'm not going. And secondly, I know how much this is.
Yeah.
So it does sound lovely. I mean, obviously, all you can eat buffet by the sounds of it. If they are food stations, that would imply an all you can eat buffet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The firework view is going to be amazing. It sounds like you're going to have lots of character interactions, and there's obviously some sort of little themey thing going on. And it's from 7 till half midnight, did you say? So it's a good few hours, to be fair.
Yeah. Having been in Disneyland on New Year's Eve, I know how crazy it is. So for me, having the Disney bubbliness but not being in Crazyland is, it is a premium. However, at $799 per person with tax and gratuity included, it's a lot of money. A lot of money. Now, because it's $799 per person, that would assume that if you are a child, that's how much you would be paying. So it's giving me a very adult vibe because there isn't any cheaper price for a child.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? With it being a late night event as well. So, and the venue that it's at, it kind of does give off adult vibes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we know New Year's Eve events, crikey, I think the pub over the road from where I live, will have a fee on the door on New Year's Eve when they wouldn't do normally. So we know that these types of special occasions will attract a certain elevated price tag anyway, but it is a lot of money, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I don't know how it compares to last year's event, whether it's gone up significantly or whether it's, because it's Tiana and it's the very in vogue thing to have at the moment, that's bumped it up or not. I don't know.
Well, we shall find out more, no doubt, imminently over the next few days as more information comes out. I'm going to end on a high, Jane, because
we like ending on a high.
Yeah.
Go on.
One of the most beloved memories I have of going to Disney over Christmas was being in Disney's California Adventure and getting my candy cane.
Oh, yeah.
And the last time I did it, we unfortunately didn't get in line in time and we were wandering away, a little bit downbeat. And this lovely couple came up to me and said, "We got 2 wristbands for the candy canes. We only really want one. We'd like to give it to you." And I was like in tears. It was like, oh my God, let me pay you. No, we don't want any money. So for me, it is such a wonderful thing to do. The candy canes are made on site. You can see them making them. And they are giganormous.
Yeah.
So the Candy Palace and Candy Kitchen in Disneyland will be selling them on the 29th of November, the 1st of December, the 3rd, the 8th, the 10th, 15th, 17th, 22nd and the 24th, whereas at DCA it's the 30th of November, the 2nd, 4th, 9th, 11th, 16th, 18th, 23rd and 25th of December. This year, to purchase one of the candy canes, you will have to deploy a mobile waitlist system because, as always, numbers are restricted. And I'm sure, I remember from past years, it's 40.
Wow, yeah.
So, very intriguing. Let us know if you're going to be in Disneyland and picking one up. We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely.
I had a little bit of a chat with one of my friends who's going to Epcot in the next couple of weeks. And we were talking about where you're able to eat. And they said, oh, Epcot is a nightmare. And I said, what do you mean? Well, it's just an absolute nightmare because I don't know where's open. So I thought I'd do a bit of research.
Okay.
And it is so confusing because myself and you would consider ourselves to know a little bit about Disney. Like, we don't know everything. But
no, I think we've got a pretty good breadth of knowledge, shall we say? Yeah.
But for your average person who just turns up and doesn't do that much pre-research, it's a nightmare finding somewhere open to eat.
Right, okay. It's not something I've ever thought about, to be fair.
Well, here's it all unwrapped for everybody. So, Epcot standard opening times is 9 o'clock. But sometimes, because if you're a resort guest, you can get in half an hour early. So I'm going to go through place by place with the time they open. So,
right.
Early opening, you've got Akershus Royal Banquet Hall, 8:30. Connections Cafe, which is the Starbucks. The Crêpes Emporteurs by La Crêperie de Paris, which is basically the quick serve creperie. Sunshine Seasons, Kringler Bakery, the Land Cart, which is basically outside the Land Pavilion, where you can get fruit, cheese, pretzel, veggies and hummus, and Garden Grill. They all open at 8:30 in line with early opening.
Okay.
These open at 9 o'clock. La Crêperie de Paris, Les Halles Boulangerie Pâtisserie in France, Kringler Bakery, the Oasis Sweets and Sips, where you can get your Moroccan pastries. Then these are open at 9:30. Festival Favourites, which is inside that new building that they've basically rebuilt. The Fife and Drum Tavern for your popcorn, turkey legs, pretzels, hot dogs and ice cream, 10 o'clock. La Cantina de San Angel, 10 o'clock. Gelateria Toscana, 10 o'clock. Then you have a whole host of places open at 11 o'clock, because if you remember historically, World Showcase didn't really start open until 11.
Till 11 anyway,
so you've got Connections Eatery, which is the counter service. The Funnel Cake Place over by America.
Yeah.
Joy of Tea. Lotus Blossom Cafe. Kabuki Cafe. Refreshment Port. Refreshment Outpost. Tangerine Cafe. Yorkshire County Fish and Chips. Choza de Margarita. They are all 11 o'clock. Then, just to make things a little bit harder, there are some places that are 11:30. Pizza de la Taglio, Coral Reef, Katsura Grill, San Angel Inn Ristorante, Via Napoli. Then, just to make it even more weird, Regal Eagle Smokehouse Craft Drafts and Barbecue, 11:45. Then you have L'Artisan de Glace, 12 o'clock. Summerfest, 12 o'clock. I've missed two out, sorry. Space 220 and Spice Road Table, they're 11:30. Then back to 12 o'clock. Biergarten, Block and Hands, which sells pretzels. Chefs de France, Shikishai Sushi, Izayaki, 12 o'clock. Le Cellier, Tepanedo, Nine Dragons, Tutto Italia, 12:30. Tutto Gusta, 3 o'clock. La Hacienda de San Angel, 4 o'clock. Rose and Crown, 4 o'clock. Teku Taime Te, 4:30. And that's the latest one that opens. It's a nightmare.
I was just going to say, it's a right mishmash of opening times. And I remember the days when you couldn't get into World Showcase until 11. So you could appreciate if that's what they were still doing. But they don't do that now. They're all open. Whilst I could appreciate that you're going to have not everywhere providing a breakfast item, you would still think by about 10 o'clock, most places would be open of some description. Or 11 at the latest. Why have we got this sort of sporadic opening of places? I must admit, it's one thing that drove me mad when we went to Disneyland Paris a few years ago. There was no consistency, and some restaurants wouldn't even be open because it was a time of year, and it just did my head in. It's like, if you've got a restaurant, why isn't it open? Because, and I appreciate that the comeback will be money, and budgets, etc. But it's not great for the guest experience when you're having to guess whether the place you want to eat at is even going to be open.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest something.
Right.
Okay. So, you either open at 8:30 when your resort guests can come in, i.e. your quick serves, or those table service like Garden Grill or what's the other one? Akershus.
Akershus, yeah.
Then all your other places, 11 o'clock. Your table service, let's open them up at 11:30 and standardise it. None of this 11:45 malarkey. I can imagine that the reason why Tutto Italia restaurant is 12:30, just make it the same, 12 o'clock. Hacienda de San Angel, maybe there isn't the demand for that restaurant at lunchtime, so they're opening at 4, same with Rose and Crown, but then Tekumi Thai is 4:30. Just standardise it, all 4:30. Monsieur Paul, bring it open 4:30. It just makes sense, guys.
And I was going to say, I can understand that some of these table service restaurants, especially these high-end ones, they're only going to be open for dinner service.
Yeah.
So that's fine, and I agree with you, Michelle. Have a set time, and they all open at that set time. It's quite disappointing that places like the Rose and Crown don't do a lunch service, to be fair. And I think, all quick service should be open from the get-go. Because all quick services tend to have, they'll have those snack options. So if somebody wants to grab a cinnamon roll, for argument's sake, on the go as their breakfast, then they'll be able to get that. Because most of your snack option places, your quick service, are going to have some sort of cookie, pastry, coffee, soda that you can grab and go with, aren't they? So why aren't they open from the get-go?
I don't get it. And you've got to think of where guests are coming in. A lot of guests are going to be coming in through the International Gateway if they are staying at a Skyliner or Boardwalk area, Swan and Dolphin area. So that's a lot of people coming into the park. So they're going to need to get something to eat over that area. For me, I would probably pop into maybe France, get something from France, maybe a croissant or something. That's probably your best bet in that area. Unless you're walking round to go to Frozen, and then your best option is going to be my favourite bakery.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
if you're wanting that sweet treat for the start of the day, it's, best options going.
Yeah.
Hands down, yeah.
You can get a school bread for $5 and it will fill you up for the day. You can get a nice hot coffee, a Christophe Cafe, which is a frozen coffee. Absolutely fantastic. And if you're wanting something a little bit zhuzhy, you can always get an alcoholic beverage at the same time.
And they're all reasonably priced in there as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Now, if you come in the other entrance, I possibly would be going to the Starbucks and just getting a coffee and a grab-and-go something, because I will just then get some fuel to get me on my way. However, I am going to suggest something that not a lot of people may agree with. I would possibly, dependent on what time my plan is going to work, I would try and get a breakfast reservation for Garden Grill. Now, their breakfast reservation is $49 per adult, and it is quite a price. However, you can have your best fill of Mickey-shaped waffles as much as you want, and there's backyard grilled steak. And for me, that is amazing. I will fill my tummy to no end with that. And I don't like it messed around with all sorts of stuff on it. So I just say, can I just have steak? I don't want any ranchero sauce or whatever.
Yeah, well, there's options there for your sit-downs for your breakfast particularly, isn't it?
And breakfast runs till 10:30. And then lunch starts at 11:30. I don't think $49 to get a really good start for the day, because you probably wouldn't want to eat until a lot later on in the day.
I'm going to say that's the thing with that, isn't it? You take that like an early-ish breakfast, late breakfast, early lunch kind of brunchy type time. It's going to see you through till, say, mid to late afternoon anyway. So hopefully you're going to save on buying snacks and stuff in between. I have to say, I had a quick look around and I noticed that over at Sunshine Seasons in the same pavilion, you've got a breakfast sandwich. I thought, oh, that's interesting. It's highlighted as a breakfast sandwich for $10.99. But if you go back over to Connections Cafe, you can get a ham and Swiss croissant for $4.99. It's like, well, what's the difference? It's like, so be careful out there, guys, because, Sunshine Seasons is offering you bacon, eggs and cheddar on a croissant. Well, I can go to Connections and get bacon, gouda and egg sandwich for like half price.
Yeah.
So, if you are having breakfast in Epcot, be careful, or do like Michelle's suggested and take the hit and recognise it's going to last you and keep you going for most of the day.
And you're fitting in character meats.
Yes. Which is what you're paying for a little bit extra for anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Another option, and I had a revelation on my last trip with Yorkshire County Fish and Chip Shop.
Oh, okay.
And I spoke at length about how the Yorkshire County Fish and Chip Shop was literally from the place my first house was in. I lived in a place called Guiseley, and I never noticed on the sign underneath Yorkshire County Fish Shop it has Guiseley. Americans, you may pronounce it Gisley, but it's Guiseley, I assure you. Well, I lived there. My parents lived in the house that was famous for the guy who invented sooty. So we lived in Guiseley until I was about 6-7 months old. But this fish and chip shop, that original concept came from, was in Guiseley. And I'm not kidding, $13.49 for your beer battered fish and chips. You cannot beat it. And that is enough for two of you to share. Or if you're really hungry, have one your own. Or if you're just wanting a little snacker, my top tip is, and you're going to like this, Jane, maybe not a lot, I'd go to France and get a baguette. Right. Then I'd go to the Yorkshire County Fish and Chip Shop, cut open my baguette and make a fish and chip butty.
Oh, I thought you were going to say chip butty, but fish and chip.
I'm being a bit extravagant and having fish as well. But if you don't want to have your fish as well, just get your chips at $4.49 and a whole baguette. You can have a meal for two for under $10, and it's so yummy.
Yeah.
We really, really had a lot of fish. Well, I didn't eat a great deal, but Caroline absolutely adored eating there on our last trip.
Right.
So we just thought we'd just mention a few things, guys. And, for those of you who are watching the pennies, you might just want to have a soda for your breakfast. And we all know where you're going to get a free one.
Oh, yeah. Beverly, anybody?
Absolutely. A pre-digestive before you go on and have something else.
I was going to say to whet your appetite, but depending on whether you like it or not, maybe not.
Yeah. As thinking about later on in the day for something to eat, for me, Epcot is a place where you probably would want to go around and snack rather than have a big meal. So look for that cuisine that you like and then maybe visit the quick service there or one of the carts and see what tantalises your taste buds. I personally liked my meal at Regal Eagle. I think the portion sizing there was good. I enjoyed it. My only downside is if it's raining, don't go inside because the aircon is always ramped up and you'll come out looking like an iceberg.
Ah.
But that's the only thing I'd say about there. But there's so many other places you can go and get nice things. And I love that idea of just, when you feel a bit peckish, just getting a little snack. And by the time you've walked to the next country, you can get another little snack.
Yeah, I mean, Epcot's got some lovely, obviously, sit-down eating, but they're not on the cheap side, are they? So, but when there's plenty of quick service, as you say, Michelle, little snacky bits that you can pick up and have a wander and get a taste of a plethora of countries rather than just settling on one particular area to go and eat.
Well, we shall see, guys. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you what your Epcot foodie top tips are. We haven't even mentioned Sunshine Seasons, which has so many options. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Anyway, Jane, it's a Remembrance Day, parade day for me, so I am going to go and bob on over and do my little bit to show ultimate respect to our veterans and thank them and remember the dead and fallen and those who have been impacted by conflict at our local remembrance parade. So I suppose I better put a pin on this and say that's it for this week. If you want to find out more about what we're up to, you can find us on Instagram at DisDreamGirls, our website DisneyDreamGirls.com, our Patreon page, patreon.com/DisneyDreamGirls. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And bye from me.